Top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. leaves for his state visit to China, seeks to strengthen ties in various areas. The country's tourism revenue losses could reach up to 200 million pesos per day due to airspace shutdown following CAAP's technical glitch. Senator Grace Poe urges government to craft clear policy on arrivals from China following the surge of their COVID-19 cases. And Japan dispatches its jet fighters and warships to monitor the movement of a Chinese aircraft carrier and a few warships over the past 2 weeks. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Tuesday, January 3, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am William Theo. First in the news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. left for his state visit to China. The president vowed to strengthen ties with China in various areas. Nel Maribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. eyes strengthening strategic cooperation with China as he visits the country, vowing to pursue initiatives in key areas.
We will seek to foster a meaningful relation and broaden our cooperation in various areas such as agriculture, energy, infrastructure, science and technology, trade and investment, and people-to-people exchanges, amongst others.
More than 10 key bilateral agreements are expected to be signed during President Marcos' visit. PBBM did not specifically discuss how the Philippines will assert its sovereignty over the West Philippine Sea or WPS. But he said he looks forward to discussing bilateral and regional political and security issues.
In this regard, I also look forward to discussing political security issues of a bilateral and regional nature. The issues between our two countries are problems that do not belong between two friends such as Philippines and China. We will seek to resolve those issues to mutual benefit of our two countries.
In a briefing last week, however, the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA said that the president will bring up the maritime issue. Meanwhile, a direct line of communication for both countries will be established to discuss tensions over the WPS. While PBBM is in a 2-day state visit, Vice President Sara Duterte will be the government caretaker or OIC, according to OIC Press Secretary Yusek Cheloy Garafil. Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, subscribers who successfully registered their SIM cards reached over 11 million according to the National Telecommunications Commission or NTC. As of January 2nd, the number of registered SIM cards reached more than 11,200,000 subscribers. More than 5.1 million SIM users were registered under Smart Communications, 5 million under Globe Telecom, while 1 million SIM users were registered under Dito Telecommunity. SIM users were given 180 days to register their SIM before deactivation. The agency meanwhile reiterated its call for individuals to register their SIM cards before the set deadline. The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, will conduct a 2-day voter registration in different correctional institution or penal colonies across the country. This would be on January 11 to 12, 2023 at the New Bilibid Prison or NBP, Leyte Regional Prison, Correctional Institution for Women in Mandaluyong City and Panabo City in Davao Region, Davao Prison and Penal Farm, Zamboanga Prison and Penal Farm, Iwahig Prison and Penal Farm in Palawan, and Sablayan Prison and Penal Farm in Occidental Mindoro. The voter registration will be led by Commissioner Amy Ferolino that heads the Office of the Vulnerable Sectors.
Kami na po sa pangunguna po ni Chairman Garcia at Commissioner Ferolino ay nag-iimbita sa inyo na samahan niyo po kami sa New Bilibid Prison para inyo pong masaksihan ang registration sa ating mga persons deprived of liberty. Sa ngayon po, ang mga nagre-register na sa vulnerable sectors, kasama na po ang persons with disabilities, senior citizens, ang mga indigenous peoples at yung iba pang nakapagparehistro na persons deprived of liberty, umaabot na po sa 30,281.
The Commission on Elections disclosed that they can conduct the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan Elections or BSKE on May 2023. Meanwhile, the poll body has no plans yet over the possible extension of the ongoing voter registration. Dante Abento tells us why.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC Chief George Erwin Garcia, said they are waiting for the resolution of the Supreme Court, or SC. This is over the petition of Attorney Romulo Macalintal against the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan Elections, or BSKE postponement. Garcia added if the High Tribunal will release the decision this month, they still have enough time to conduct the BSKE on May this year.
Na-monitor natin ang ating kagalang-galang na punong maestrado, Alexander Esmundo, ay nagsabi na yung mga kaso of national interest will be resolved before the end of January. And so, we agree na dapat hopefully sana mga January ma-resolve na yung issue. At mukhang nakalista doon sa number 1 na item doon ay yung i-resolve yung tungkol sa issue ng BSKE.
The COMELEC also aims to finish the printing of ballots for the barangay and SK polls this month.
Just the same, nagdesisyon na ang komisyon, proceed na lang kami ng proceed. It doesn't matter. Whatever is the decision of the Supreme Court, if it is October, fine, we are prepared by October. If it is May, then fine, we are prepared by May or whatever is the month na gugustuhin ng ating Korte Suprema.
Meanwhile, Chairman Garcia clarified they have not yet discussed the possible extension of the voter registration. Hence, they urged the public to register early to avoid beating the last minutes of registration.
Wala po kami pinag-uusapan so far patungkol sa extension. January 31 po ang aming pong date ng pagkatapos ng registration and therefore January. Wala naman pong batas na nagsasabi na dapat ganito kahaba ang registration.
The ongoing voter registration will be until January 31, 2023, and the COMELEC hopes to have 1.5 million to 2 million new registrants. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The government will lose around 104.3 billion pesos this year. This is due to the implementation of the new tax rate under the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion or TRAIN law. According to the Bureau of Internal Revenue of BIR Assistance Commissioner Janet Cruz, a reduction of an average of 5% will be removed from the taxpayer that earns more than 250,000 pesos and above. Around 26 million taxpayers will benefit from this tax relief, as this will result to higher take-home pay. The official asks the public to spend their income to legitimate establishments that would remit their value-added tax of VAT and be used to improve the economy.
Effective January 1, 2023, we're giving relief already to individual taxpayers. That includes employees and single proprietors and professionals na binigyan na natin sila ngayon ng incentive or benefit which is lower ang tax rate nila based on income level.
In other news, onion prices may go down in the coming days according to Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or SINAG. The group's chairman Rosendo So said that farm gate price in provinces now went down. It may also reflect in Metro Manila markets this week. At a 250 pesos per kilogram suggested retail price or SRP is now being implemented by the Department of Agriculture or DA for onions.
Yung pick-up sa Nueva Ecija at saka Pangasinan, between 200 to 250 na. And ang retail price sa Pangasinan, bumaba na ng 300 so far. So, siguro yung Metro Manila mag-a-adjust din yan.
The Department of Trade and Industry said that they are also helping the DA in monitoring the implementation of SRP.
And for our news abroad, Japan rushed its jet fighters to monitor the movement of a Chinese aircraft carrier and a few warships. Serbisyong Bayanihan will tell us why live. Charis?
Good evening, Kath. Japan's Air Self-Defense Force fighter aircraft and warships have been dispatched in response to the activity from China's Liaoning aircraft carrier, which sailed between the main Okinawa Island and Miyakojima Island over the past 2 weeks. More than 300 takeoffs and landings of fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters were conducted by the Chinese naval group before returning to East China Sea on Sunday, January 1. A Chinese WZ-7 drone was also spotted close to Miyakojima on Sunday and again on Monday, January 2, which is the first time Japan detected the high-altitude drone in the area. The military drills came after Japan announced in December that it would double its military spending, citing China as its greatest security challenge. Back to you, Kath.
Thank you, Serbisyong Bayanihan, reporting live from Japan. For the first time in Mexican history, with a 6-5 majority vote, Justice Norma Lucia Piña Hernandez has been elected as the first female Supreme Court president in Mexico. Piña took over the High Court from Arturo Saldivar and took her oath yesterday, January 2nd, 2023. The new Supreme Court president pushed back against the government's nationalist energy agenda. This is where an electricity law led by Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador favors the country's state-run fossil fuel-dependent energy firms. President López Obrador has pressured the court to give control of the energy sector to National Power Utility Comisión Nacional de Electricidad, or CFE, and state oil firm Petróleos Mexicanos, or Pemex. However, Piña cited Mexico's obligation to cut its carbon footprint, including one that gave priority to CFE in connecting power plants to the grid. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, William.
Yes, thank you, Kat. Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board reduced the number of bus units in the EDSA carousel as free rides ended. JP Nunez will tell us why.
From 758 bus units allowed in EDSA carousel, the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, now reduced the number to 550 buses. LTFRB Head of Technical Division Joel Bolano explains that this number is the original units allowed in the busway since its launch. Last year, the board granted additional 100 units of bus in EDSA carousel to augment the need during rush hour, while additional 108 were allowed to accommodate its 24/7 operation last December. The LTFRB assures that this number is sufficient from the demand of passengers. However, the regulatory board will still monitor the situation this week to decide if there is a need to issue additional special permits once needed.
So we're expecting na kahit paano bababa yung ridership sa EDSA busway. In the event na talagang based doon sa monitoring namin itong week na to, talagang hindi magbago, then yung possibility for the board to decide kung dadagdagan talaga as in dagdag na unit sa busway.
The Department of Transportation, or DOTR, still has no assurance of the possible re-implementation of EDSA busway free ride. Despite 2 billion pesos allotted budget for service contracting program this 2023, Secretary Jaime Bautista explains that this is not enough to subsidize other mode of transportations in the country. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The premium contribution that will be collected by Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, will be used to support the expansion of benefits in the Universal Health Care Law. But with Malacanang's intention to suspend the PhilHealth premium rate hike this year, the Department of Health or DOH and PhilHealth vowed to abide the order. In a joint statement, the two agencies have expressed their full support with the Palace's decision. According to DOH and PhilHealth, the suspension of the premium rate hike aims to help every Filipino who are greatly affected by the pandemic and with the rising of the inflation rate. PhilHealth will conduct a board meeting to further discuss the matter and the possible adjustments needed to be done in order not to compromise the implementation of the Universal Health Care Program. PhilHealth will also release announcements to properly guide its members and employers. Following the glitch of the air traffic management system of the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines at Ninoy Aquino International Airport, an economist said that the country's tourism revenue losses could reach up to 200 million pesos per day due to airspace shutdown. Janice Inhente will tell us why.
Thousands of tourist and overseas Filipino workers or OFW have been halted from traveling following the technical glitch in the air navigation traffic system of the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines or CAAP. Due to this, businesses and industries lost its opportunities to earn from their potential customers who have been affected from the flight cancellations at Ninoy Aquino International Airport or NAIA. According to Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation Chief Economist Michael Ricafort, the country lost around 200 million pesos in tourism revenues due to the shutdown of the airspace last January 1. Ricafort said the government should take it serious when it comes to the upgrading and improving the airports and other transportation sectors as it plays a big role in the country's economy.
Dapat inaalagaan din yung branding ng sa yung complete experience, 'di ba? Yung 'di ba yung service, yung customer experience. Kasi ganun yun, inaalagaan talaga dapat yung negosyong ganyan, no? Kasi, ano yan pwede naman sila mamili kung saan mas maganda yung serbisyo, saan mas maganda yung experience na nakaka-relax sila, hindi sila maaberya. Kaya, napaka-importante rin, yung infrastructure, dapat maayos yung infrastructure natin.
Earlier, the CAAP and Department of Transportation or DOTR admitted that the air traffic management system of the country needs to be upgraded to make communication, navigation, and surveillance in the Philippines airspace more efficient. Janice Inhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Senate Majority Floor Leader Joel Villanueva on Tuesday, January 3, filed a resolution seeking to probe on the flight disruptions last January 1 due to an alleged technical glitch in the air traffic management system of the country. The Senate Resolution number 390 filed by Villanueva also intends to improve the overall air traffic services in the Philippines to further promote economic growth, revitalize the tourism sector, and create more opportunities for job generation, which are the goals of the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. Meanwhile, Senator Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada also filed a separate Senate Resolution number 392 that highlights the need to upgrade the air traffic management system and to hire competent manpower and experts to man the facilities to further prevent cybersecurity attacks, sabotage, disasters, and other threats. Senator Risa Ontiveros also shared her disappointment about the said incident, saying it should never get in the way of thousands of affected passengers not meeting their loved ones and celebrating their holidays. She emphasized that overseas Filipino workers or OFWs are now worried and languishing about losing their jobs because of the flight cancellations. Ontiveros has considered the incident as a wake-up call for airport authorities to review the schedules of airlines during busy seasons to prevent the loss of critical functions.
A cruise ship was denied permission to dock in southern Australia due to harmful marine growth found on its hull, leaving hundreds of passengers stranded. Maven Dog explains why live. Yes, Maeve?
the Australian authorities discovered biofoul on the hull of the cruise ship Viking Orion and has denied permission for the ship to dock in Adelaide, Australia. Biofoul or marine growth is an accumulation of biological matter such as microorganisms, plants, algae, or small animals on submerged objects. Management of biofoul is a common practice for all arriving international vessels in Australia, as it poses a risk of invasive species being imported into non-native habitats. The Australian Department of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry, or DAFF, has advised that the vessel line has already engaged with professional divers to clean the ship's hull, while anchored outside Australian waters about 27 kilometers off coast. The 930-person ship, built in 2018, was already denied permission to dock in New Zealand and Tasmania due to same issues. Meanwhile, Viking and its captain have apologized and said that their customer relations team will work directly with guests and make an offer for compensation in the coming days. Back to you, Kat.
Thank you, Maven Dog, reporting live from Australia. More than 80 Iranian-made drones launched by Russia were reportedly shot down by the Ukrainian army in the first 2 days of 2023. President Volodymyr Zelensky warns of a drone air campaign by Russia in order to exhaust Ukraine. Nerissa Naldo tells the details live. Yes, Nerissa?
Good evening, Kath. Prolonged aerial bombardments and attacks using Russian missiles and Iranian-made drones continue to rain down on the capital of Ukraine and its surrounding areas since New Year's Eve. Ukraine officials said it killed at least 5 people and wounded dozens. Drones targeted critical infrastructure in Kyiv, and attacks might increase in number in the near future. In his nightly address Monday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated he had received intelligence that Russia is planning a long-term attack using Iranian Shahed drones to exhaust its people.
Ми маємо інформацію, що Росія планує тривалу атаку шахедами. Її ставка може бути на виснаження наших людей, нашої ППО, нашої енергетики.
Iranian Shahed drones are an easy target for Ukraine's air defenses. However, Russia's drone strategy has been to launch large numbers of unmanned projectiles at a particular target and overwhelm Ukraine's air surveillance and defense systems. Russian military also increased the use of so-called kamikaze drones that can cause extensive damage and casualties. Meanwhile, President Zelensky said they must act and do everything so that the terrorists fail in their aim as all their others have failed. Back to you, Kath.
Thank you, Nerissa Naldo, for that report live from Japan. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I'm Kat Tumaraos, live from Bangkok, Thailand. Good evening.
Senator Grace Poe on Tuesday, January 3, called on all concerned government agencies to create a clear policy to be implemented for travelers or tourists arriving from China following the surge of COVID-19 cases in their country. Poe has emphasized the need for the national government to plan for COVID-19 testing requirements and other screenings for all travelers arriving from China before the lifting of Chinese travel restrictions on January 8. She stated that other countries like the US, UK, France, Canada, Japan, South Korea, India, Israel, Morocco, Italy, and Spain have all reimposed their mandatory COVID tests and other rules on arrivals from China, and that the Philippines should decide definitely on the said matter. Poe reminds the government that the country's experience with COVID-19 in the past 3 years has taught about the danger of delayed and uninformed COVID-related policies. In other news, the Department of Energy says that oil price adjustment would be possible this year due to international oil market development. Meanwhile, transport drivers ask the authorities to help lower oil prices. Bernadette Tinoy will tell us why.
Oil prices increased to 2 pesos and 10 centavos per liter for diesel and 3 pesos and 5 centavos per kerosene, while 2 pesos and 90 centavos increase will be applied for gasoline. Transport drivers complain as they are one of the most affected by the price increase of petroleum products.
Nung bumaba ng 60, medyo okay na sana eh. Kaso mas maganda kung tuloy-tuloy pa dapat bumaba. Eh nangyari, tumataas na naman ulit.
Kalip na panguwi na sa pamilya, napunta Las Crudo. May kalaban pa kami na yung modern. Malaking bawas. Dati, makauwi ka ng mga 500. Ngayon, mahirap nga sa 300 minsan kung lalo na pag matraffic.
Wala yung pagbaba, konti lang Tapos doble yung pagtaas Dati, itong season, hindi kami pumipila sa labas. Maraming pasahero. Ngayon, pipila na kami sa mga mall. Wala na, hindi na kami Siyempre, maliit ng kita.
According to Department of Energy or DOE, one of the reasons of the price hikes on petroleum products is the international oil market development. DOE Assistant Director Rodela Romero states that the factor for price adjustments includes the refineries because of the impact of the typhoon in the country, the restrictions on the border control in China amidst the COVID-19 surge, and the Western price cap on Russian seaborne crude oil. She says that the petroleum product in the country will depend on the world market this year.
Masyadong magalaw o volatile ang presyuhan ng langis. Nandyan pa rin po yung mga factors that would contribute para tumaas. Yun nga kung kaguluhan ng Russia at Ukraine. So may mga factors din po na ilan para bumaba. Kamukha yung mga issue ng interest rates hikes. Di po ba yung slowdown ng mga economic activities ng malalaking bansa. So ang nangyayari na lang po, kung ano po yung mangingibabaw sa mga factors na to, yun ang magiging presyuhan sa produktong petrolyo.
Meanwhile, a rollback of 4 pesos and 20 centavos per kilogram will be applied for liquefied petroleum gas or LPG. Romero says it's because of the low demand on butane, which is one of the component of LPG.
Sa United States po kasi ginagawang blending fuel yun sa gasoline. So kung bumaba po yung demand sa nasabing butane, so nagkaroon po ng pagbaba ng presyo.
The agency then assures the public that they will coordinate with the stakeholders to orderly supervise the downstream oil and natural gas industry. Bernadette Tinoy, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Do you fly by aircraft often and sometimes experience canceled or delayed flights? The earlier technical glitch that happened at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport or NAIA have affected thousands of passengers due to flight cancellations. It is important that passengers know their rights stated in the Air Passenger Bill of Rights. According to the Civil Aeronautics Board, air passengers have 3 main rights. First, it's their right to be provided with correct information regarding the flight to be booked. Second, the right to be provided with proper service equal to what a passenger paid to the airline and the right to compensation. In the NAIA incident where hundreds of flights were canceled, some were diverted and some got delayed, resulting to passengers being stranded after the air traffic management system failed. It is proper that passengers get assistance or compensation. Under the Air Passenger Bill of Rights, when the flight cancellation happened at least 24 hours from the original schedule, and if it is the fault of the airline company, the ticket can be rebooked or reimbursed without the passenger paying any additional fees. They can also be endorsed to other airline companies. They should also be given either free hotel accommodations or food and drinks. But if flight failure happened due to force majeure or events beyond human control, it is stated in the Air Passenger Bill of Rights that the full payment made by the passenger to the airline company should be reimbursed. The group Lawyers for Commuter Safety and Protection, or LCSP, insisted that it is the right time for the government to focus attention on airport modernization to improve the service of airports in the country. Malacanang previously ordered government agencies to conduct in-depth investigation regarding the technical glitch on Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines or CAAP's air traffic management system.
What if the cancellation is not due to or it is not attributable to the air carrier? Ibig sabihin, canceled due to other reasons like force majeure or etc. Ang karapatan ng pasahero ay reimbursement, total reimbursement. So yun ang problema na katulad yun nangyari, nandun ka na sa airport and you have the right of reimbursement.
Our kasambahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
Before we close, we will leave you with the word giving glory to God from the book of Romans chapter 12 verse 10. It says, "Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor, preferring one another." Those are the reasons behind the news, the 3rd of January 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.